How's it going? Back onto the Mazda. Get the motor up in the hole. Get it all up and running. Will be good. I'll try and do all this holding the camera so you can see how I like to get it done. You see I got the motor under it. Not on the axle stands, you'll see why soon. I get it under there, line it up pretty good. I know it's pretty close because I measured it accurately with my eyeballs. So what we do first is we drop the car down on top of it pretty much. So we'll get it down there. Hopefully I've lined it up pretty good. We've got it at the front, so that's a good start. Shall see. I'll try not to do too much time lapse in this video so you can see how things go. Keep going down. I can see everything's starting to get a bit close now, so we'll have a look-see. Looks like we got plenty of clearance, I think. Just wait to tell, have a look from up top. Well, nothing's going to hit it by the look of that. Keep going down. I think that is actually lined up really good. Damn, I'm good. We'll keep going down as far as we can. Doesn't look as though anything's going to rest on top of it. Yeah, good stuff. Nice. So we'll go down a little bit more. See, our back wheels are almost on the ground there. Front's coming down quite low now. Might leave it about there. Right. Now I've got the trusty seatbelt on it. So we'll get the engine crane up and lift her up into place roughly. Now we have to go, we can't go front on because the engine and the trans together are too wide to fit between the legs. So I always push around the side. Under there, pretty good. It's not going to lift up straight because we can't get the seatbelt centered on the engine and the trans together, so the trans is going to be a lot lower. But we sort that out. We also have to keep an eye on that the engine crane isn't going to hit on the bonnet. If it does, then we have to whip the bonnet off. See, she's starting to lift up and keep going. Okay, now we're pretty close there. Now what I do to get her sitting up level is I just grab my trolley jack and stick her under the trans and lift that up. She's all the way over here. Harley's for sale too, if anyone wants to buy that or knows someone that wants it. Just message me for the details. Hopefully. Oh, I can't get it under there yet. That's a problem. Need to come up some more. There you go. Hopefully I've kept the camera on there so you can see. Also just keep an eye up here. Sure, she's not going to hit on anything. Looks pretty good. Keep it going. Now, see she's getting pretty close to that side, so we'll drag her over. Just use the crane for that. We go up a bit more on the crane. Right, now because that's pretty close, we can chuck that mount on. Now we don't do anything up tight yet, we just chuck it all on there and get it close enough. It can actually go down, it's gone too far. That's good. Needs to come this way a bit. Just come over a bit more. Just drag it by hand. Beautiful. If you can you see the bolt hole there? No, you can't. Just take my word that it's there. Go up a bit more. Look at that, beautiful. That is in. Drop that down so it gives us a bit of movement down this end for that mount to get on there. I don't do anything up tight yet. I wait until I've got both these mounts on and the engine's swinging there before I sort of nip it all up. Come on. Struggling to find the hole. Need someone to guide me in. Let's get in there. Come on, get in there. Where are you? It is right there and I'm still struggling. There we go. There we go. Right, round two. Oh no. I'm in. Okay, now we've got too much seatbelt there and we're touching on the bonnet. I'll drag the jack under there. Better get it up a little bit more with that. Sorry, looking at the ground. Oh, literally got the smallest pumps going. Come on. There we go. How's that? Getting there. Oh, yep. Just seen I'm missing one of the studs there, so we'll have to grab one off the other engine. Hopefully that'll come out nicely. One of those. Just need one of those. See, they got those E-Torx heads on them. They don't normally like to come out very nice, but we'll see. Oh, make a liar of me. Alright, see bottle there. See how I go round three. Oh, straight in. Had some practice. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Sweet, now I'll just go around, tighten everything up. I don't put those on yet because there's a metal plate that goes on top of that for the battery box and everything, so I leave those nuts off. They can, because it all hangs off the bottom there of the chassis rail, so they can stay off. I'll just tighten up the one in the centre. So that's it, she's in. Not quite ready to fire up and drive, but it's in there. Is that even 10 minutes? Oh, see the seatbelt's out of there too. There's nothing supporting it, nothing underneath. She's bolted in. Obviously just those two mounts. We'll go under and do the one underneath before we carry on with anything else. Make sure she's not going to fall off. Or, yeah, easy. Piece of cake. show you this bottom mount so you can see how it stops the engine swinging around. You got to take it off in two pieces. It pretty much just goes from the bottom of your diff housing there on the trans to the subframe. Stops her all rocking back and forward. She's in there nice and solid now, and pretty much putting it together is just the reverse of taking it apart. Yeah, like I say, it's all simple. The other thing I leave till it's up in here as well is obviously we bolt the trans on while the engine and the trans are on the floor. There's a couple of bolts underneath, bell housing bolts, that one, and this one, this one, and this one. I just leave them till it's up here. It's a lot easier to do it rather than trying to do it while it's swinging on the engine crane there. But yeah, throwing it back together is just the reverse, so I'll quickly do that. Just an update of where it's at. So aircon pump is on, all bolted up with its shield. You saw the mounts on, this is on, exhaust is on. Everything's pretty much done under here other than the axles. Before I put those on, I've had them soaking for a few days with some penetrant. Hopefully I can get them out. If not, then they're going back on like that. Too bad. Yeah, carry on. Alright, got both the axles and hubs and stuff on, just to make it a bit easier. Because the axles wouldn't come out of the hubs, to make it a bit easier, I just took the brake disc and everything off as well, make it a bit lighter, easier to work with. So yeah, those are staying in there. Crank them up, leave them there, that'll do. So that's about it for under the vehicle. The rest of it's just under the bonnet now. So under the bonnet, I pretty much like to choose a point in it. I normally start everything at the back, and I just like to work my way from there, go the whole way around it, adding everything on that needs to go on, plugging everything in, bolting everything up until I get back around to that point, and also until I've got no pile of bits left over too. I just like to do it that way. It's not the way it has to be done. I just like to do it like that. That's just how I choose to, pretty much. And then that way I know that everything's back on, that should be. I've already done the exhaust. I did all that before I put that bottom mount and everything on, because all of that gets in the way of what you have to do under there with it. So that's all on, so I'll pretty much start at this corner, work my way around and get it all done. There she is, all back together how it should be. Obviously missing the cover on top, but I mean we've still got a tack of oil and stuff in it yet. So that is next on the list to do. I like to get up, get under there, pull the drain plug out, the oil filter, let them drain out for a fair amount of time. It's a second-hand engine, we don't know how long that oil was in there, so I like to let it all drain out. Obviously need to top the trans up, do the engine oil and filter, chuck some antifreeze in her, run it up. We've got a couple other trays that just go in the on the inner wheel guards there. We'll chuck the wheels back on, and we've also got the under tray to go back on too, so we'll get under there and do all of that. Right, there she goes, she's all ready for her fluids now, and I've just realised that I have run out of Auto-Trans fluid to fill this up, and as you can see, she's dark outside, so no one's going to be open. So we'll carry on with this in the morning. Alright, back into it, it's another day. I've gone ahead and got all the engine oil in and the trans fluid. Obviously haven't run it to see if the level's correct in that yet, but we will do. I've got some coolant in her as well, so see how this first startup goes, eh? Obviously the battery's all nice and charged now and good to go. Beautiful. Sounds good to me. Alright, so I'll go ahead and do all the bleeding of the cooling system and topping up the trans fluid, and she'll be all good to go. So that's a basic overview of how these engine swaps go. This one will seem pretty similar to the Mazda Excellers and everything I've done in the past too, so if your engine needs doing in that, which it will do soon, that's how you do it. Cheers.